Wizard monkeys, a very powerful sort of tower in which you can place down that can pop all different kind of targets, from leads to not purples. But today we're going to be proving that it is possible to do all pots within a single match with all tier 5 of the wizard monkeys. And I'm going to show you how to try and circumvent round 25 because it is nigh on impossible to try and afford the Necromancer for round 25 in order for us to be able to spawn zombie balloons which have the normal attack type, which enables it to hurt all kinds of targets. But the key to this comes down to the fireball, because when you look at it, every few seconds casts an explosive fireball spell. Now, the projectile that fires out of the wizard is entirely fire-based, so you can't pop purples while it's in that projectile form, but the explosion itself can. So on round 25, when we have the regrow yellows, what we're going to need to do is essentially have enough regrow yellows still on the screen, or partially damaged ones, so that we're able to throw enough fireballs so that if there are any purples nearby those regrow yellows or whatever form they're in, hopefully that the fireballs hit those ones, and then the explosion itself, which casts as an explosive kind of attack, will be able to then damage the purples. And we're looking to damage all of the purples using the fireball explosions, in which it initially damaged / popped other kind of balloon. So hopefully that is enough of an exclamation behind what we are doing here today. And yes, my voice is still very deep in comparison to normal. It's because of the theme in which you cannot name because of advertisers and stuff like that not liking you or anything like that, but it definitely does affect you. But what is affecting me right now was that yellow, so we're going to be placing the second one down, and we're only going to have it as a 1-0-0. I am planning on having it as a fireball, but not right at this instance. I want it so that when the first purple emerges around this point, when there's a yellow balloon around here, I want a fresh fireball to cast on the balloon itself. I do realise this is a long introduction as well, and I do apologise for that, but I want to set the grounds here. So our biggest challenge here is going to be round 25. And hopefully by the next purple round, we'll be able to have Necromancer on the field. But before then, we're going to figure out how to get through round 15. And I think we should go to strong review and first reviews, so that you are always trying to pop those yellow balloons, those pink balloons, and damage them. Because it's not always necessary to try and pop them, but slow them down. And when you can slow down the fastest ones, that means that all of them together are much more manageable. But can we do this? I think we can. Intense magic, monkey sense, and then this is going to be a shimmer. I keep mispronouncing it as skimmer rather than having it as a H, as a K instead. I'm not the only one who has done that in the past, where they've misseen the name of the thing itself and then go from there thinking, oh, it's a skimmer. No, it's a shimmer. My bad. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm still feeling really rough, but I think I'm out of the worst of it, even though I've tested myself today, and the bar for transmission appeared before the line that appeared with, well, this is a successful test. And yeah, you know what I'm talking about, but I don't like to say it, and I don't want to risk saying it. Otherwise, monetization, all that can be affected, which is never really a good thing, especially if you... Okay, here we go, round 25. We're going to slow this down, and we're going to try and take this by ear. We are going to place a third one down soon, but not just yet. We're going to play this by ear, and I'm hoping... There we go. Okay, so place another one down, put fireball on you. Okay, so yeah, this is a best attempt here because there's still several more on the screens, but you get the idea. This one's going to be left as... Also, I forgot to tell you, if we had Wall of Fire on, it would mean that there would be no yellow balloons on the field at all. So that would mean it would be impossible to do round 25. At the moment, it's extremely hard, but not impossible. No, we would have failed that round anyway, but for goodness sakes, there's one purple left there. Okay, have we got it this time? I spent too much time on this, like about 10 minutes. There we go. You shall not pass, as one big white bearded man says from a Lord of the Rings film. Oh, thank goodness for that. So next objective is a Necromancer for sure, because I believe the next purple round will be in like the early 30s. I've forgotten which round exactly, but let's just get it as soon as we are physically able to conjure up enough money in order to do so. I am not going to be doing this kind of thing again, where we are relying on what I'm going to describe as RNG in order to get through this. I don't care whatever kind of expert comes into the chat and says, oh, you gotta put this here, you gotta time this here, you gotta place this down here, you gotta upgrade this, then you gotta wait until this calculation comes about, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta make sure you don't leak balloons on round 31, you better not do that. I don't care. Right, we have the Necromancer up, which means our purple issues will now hopefully be non-existent now. As long as we have a graveyard here, we can keep the train going. But lovely. Here we go, round 32. That's when you were going to show up. Thank goodness we've got this now. We have some reliable, consistent means of popping purples. And no, I'm not talking about fireballs. I call that RNG based. It's good that the fireball can kind of pseudo pop purples, but it does really rely on other balloons outside of being a purple in order to actually create an explosion, in order for, you know, the purples have a chance of being popped by a magical based attack. So this is going to be our Archmage, this is going to be our Pod, and this one's going to be our Wolf. Reasons why, no idea, but we're going to be having ourselves all of them being a wall of fire. Yes, we got two means of shimmering when this gets to tier 5, which is the Archmage. This will be able to have the shimmer effect. This obviously by default has shimmer through the shimmer tier 3 upgrade of the bottom path. So yeah, we're doing very well now. Now that we've gone for around 25. Oh dear, the person who recommended this kind of thing to me is an absolute troll. I was thinking, whoa, bloody hell, really? Wizards? Like one tower type chimp. So there's a clear distinction between a 2-tower chimps, a 1-tower chimp, aka Sorda and Geraldo, back when they were better or cheaper to buy. That's considered a 1-tower chimp. Now 1-tower type chimp is, or fewest in that fact, is when you complete a map but you have the fewest kind of towers down. So let's say in this case this would be considered a 1-tower type run because we only have wizards down. Now the clear distinction between 1-tower type or like fewer tower types in comparison to just placing down 2 towers for the achievement is the fact that you're really trying to squeeze out every possible usage of a particular type of tower. I'm not talking about like magic support, primary military. I'm just thinking like, okay, we've got wizards here, then there could also be ninjas or engineers, or if it was possible, supers. That kind of thing. There we go. Now we have equated ourselves with all tier 3s of here. I swear, if I accidentally misclicked on, let's say with this one, if I accidentally misclicked on the top path and the round flipped, I would have been mad because I don't want to go through round 25 again of this particular scenario. Thank you very much. And that particular person who recommended me to try fewest tower types with the wizards is an absolute troll. But they also happen to have a huge amount of records in the Bloons Tower Defense 6 index, sorry. So Bloons Tower Defense 6 index, they hold a lot of records to their name. I'm not too sure whether to be impressed or sad by it, so there we go. I'm pretty sure you know who it is if you've been around the block for a while, but I'll leave their name anonymous just for not directly calling them out, but I am calling them out. I do want to pod as soon as possible, but our Moab damage is a little bit lackluster at the moment. So we're going to go with Arcane Spike so that the BFB around 60 is going to be a non-issue, because these zombie balloons can only do so much on their own. They're very good against like all kinds of targets, but they do run out at some point. And I think the biggest threat to this thing is ZMGs because of how slow they are. I was forward to say that the reason why we're doing this on Resort rather than, let's say, on another map where wizards like could easily do it is solely due to round 25. We need as many loops around a single part of the track as we possibly can. And I don't think there's any other map that can provide as many loops around a map as possible than Resort. Alright, round 59, we're 4k away from the pod. We've got ourselves a bunch of lead to deal with, but guess what? They are absolutely no issue here. Thank goodness for a shimmer on this, otherwise we'll be toast against camo balloons. So yeah, this is a bit of an issue. Slow Moab class balloons are an issue because they exhaust the graveyard. But yet they do get their graveyard recovered there. So back in the day, Prince of Darkness used to be cheaper. I think it was like 23 or 24,000. Now it's 28,000. Okay, more purples. Oh, great. Just what we need. Purples. Isn't that just fantastic? As long as we don't run out of graveyard. Or if we run out of Pierce with these zombie balloons, and that's also a big issue. Okay, we'll put a curse over here because these can actually last longer than the regular balloons can. But then again, by default, the pod's zombies can last longer than the Necromancer's zombies can. But I think if we had the Necromancer while a pod is on the field anyways, they would be enhanced. So that is a thing. But they can also have their pierce increase if you have a Zilly on the field and she passes like level... I don't know, try and say the number off the top of my head, but I think it's the early 10s where one of the Zilly's level is granted so that the zombie balloons get 50% more pierce. Not damage, pierce. So let's say if a balloon is able to pass through 300 balloons with a projectile, well, with a Zilly with that particular upgrade, it would be able to go to 450. Do something, times it by 150%, and you work out the 50% increase. So anyways, our next objective, we're going to get Summon Phoenix, but we're going to get Archmage first because we really need to handle the ZMGs and the multiple BFBs from round 80 onwards. I don't think we'll be able to get it on round 80, but we might be able to, but I don't think so. But we've got our main weapon of reliance up and running, which is the pod. Okay, now that I have calmed down, I'm pretty sure there is some kind of science behind the exact timing of when you like put down the third one. But then again, this Prince of Darkness and Warp have been done on this map as a 2TC, so there must be a particular position in which you would put both of these towers in so that you would able to get it so that all purples can be popped by the explosion of the fireball itself. Like, you can't get the projectile of a fireball to pop the purple. It's when it lands on another balloon that's not purple, and then the explosion from that fireball is what causes the purples to be popped from a wizard monkey. But now that we have this beloved monkey on the screen, this particular upgrade going on, purples are now a non-existent. Oh god, imagine if zombie balloons were, they couldn't actually go through purples. Like, that would be horrible. Like, what would you then be able to rely upon? The fireballs? No thank you. I want a nice consistent way of being able to pop a particular kind of balloon, not one that relies on other balloons across the screen in order to do our work for us. Okay, so we're going to kind of speed up the popping of this. There we go. So when it goes down to the Moab class, then that's great. Or sorry, just the Moab in general. Both of those are Moab classes. Around 75 is here. Sorry for my lack of energy. Number 1, round 25, but more importantly, my current predicament with an unnamed virus, which we'll not name. It's named after a very famous alcoholic drink that people drink and then actually put off because of the name of it. Like, I can't imagine the losses that a company made because of the name of a virus being after the brand itself. Like, honestly, like, if it was just put as the shorter version of the name, then like if people didn't call it virus, and then after that corona, then oh gosh, like obviously in the reverse order. I'm not sure how smart YouTube is with their ability to pick up words even if they're not stringed together properly in a sentence or in a way of saying. Right, okay, stop the debate. We're on Bloons Tower Defense 6, not talking about my illnesses at this given point in time. I feel better, but I've got new symptoms, as in a runny nose. But I prefer a runny nose than a headache. What other things are there? Sometimes shivering at night I suffer from when having an illness of sorts. I don't know why, but the most important thing, or the only thing I can do, is try and breathe deeply and as calmly as you can to relax your body. Because when you shiver uncontrollably, it's actually not a very nice thing to witness or have at any given point in time. It's like I'm not cold shivering, my body is just shivering on its own, without me putting any kind of input into it as to like trying to shiver. It's just my body is acting like that because it's doing that through some biological complications. That's the only way I can really describe it, biological complications. Right, round 80 is done, and now round 81 is here. Ah, we can finally afford Gandalf the Grey himself. Excellent. Yes, we now have the true master of wizards on the field. And we only have one more goal left in this entire... Well, actually two. Number one, afford the Wulp. And number two, to complete this entire scenario. Dearie me. Why do I put this kind of challenge upon myself, and why do I listen to people in the comment sections when they have absolutely absurd ideas? Do 2 megapubs with the caveman. Do 1 or do a 2 tower chimps which involves icicle impale and carry a flagship, where the carrier flagship can't pop stuff when they're frozen with its dash. I know its main input power is for its planes, but for goodness sakes, like, these are kind of opposites that don't attract to one another. Round 84, this is pretty good now. Well, as long as you can get through round 25, and as long as you get the Necromancer by round 32, then you're good. You're golden. Golden Freddy. Anyways, round 85. What are we to do? Like, if we move this slightly over to there a bit sooner, then the zombie BFBs would get to them. And I think the zombie BFBs don't last as long when it comes to the time of their travel than the regular BFBs are. Here we go, round 86. Keep on going down. Lovely. Round 87. Summon that one. Target the first ZMG if possible, so that is then damaged. Let's try and get the first one whittled down to the BFBs as soon as possible, so that then our graveyard can be replenished as soon as possible, because ZMGs are actually a big threat to the pod if you enable its graveyard to be sapped away. I was call it sacrificed, but then again it's like, well, any balloons which are popped nearby the pod are sacrificed to the graveyard of the pod, so yeah. And why do we call it pod in the community? Well, it's easier to call it pod than keep saying Prince of Darkness, even though Prince of Darkness is only 4 syllables long. Round 90, we have 2 means of anti-decamo, and once they're decamofied, then our Wolf will be, well, sorry, our soon-to-be Wolf should be able to pop them. Yeah, we're in the top path, because some people say that top path is better than bottom path. If you have a means of being able to decamify balloons with another tower, but I don't know. I feel like you get more pierce with the bottom path than the top path, and you get more range as well with its attacks anyways. I don't know about that. Like, I agree with the magical bolts is more powerful, but when it comes to everything else, I'm not too sure about that one, Captain. There we go, more DDTs to the fray there, lovely. I think we only provide quite a small amount to the graveyard, but it's still ammunition nonetheless. Okay, so I'm going to change you so that you target these initially. Also, a fun fact, well, not really fun, but it is a fact. If you just click on that, without like putting down on a target or anything like that, then by default it goes back to close. So the closest point of a track is where the pod actually starts summoning zombies from. And round 94 is done. There we go, round 95. Great. Fantastic. Purples. If it wasn't for these zombies, we would be in thick mud right now. I'm talking about you, round 25, and your stupidity. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing a big number of DDTs on the field and they get instantly slaughtered. Round 96. So let's see how far we can go with this. Round 96 is being tried. We're going to hold off of our warp ability. I don't think we're going to need it. If it was just these DMGs, then yes, but okay, we're probably going to need it here and there. Also, someone told me that where the warp next spawns depends on where it ends. So the next ability, the warp should be over here, possibly. So that's all good, hopefully. So my mouse is over here at the moment. Okay, yeah, so that is a true thing. I was thought, like, what kind of RNG BS is this? Okay, that kind of makes some sense, because that's where it last was. Okay. I'm going to save our warp around 100. I think everything here can take care of it. Yeah, around 99. And these, yeah, these will be able to take care of these fortified DDTs. And we have the ability, probably better to summon the warp a bit later, so that all the fireballs were able to target the bad venom there, actually, when it was like over to the left. But we're all good in that factor. Let's see. Yeah, we're all good. Yeah, we're good. Yep. Instantly wipes away those DDTs. So yeah, a Axis of Gandalf, that I'm calling it, can be done. But round 25 is absurdly difficult to a point where I am considering it where there is RNG involved. It's not down to like targeting priority, which is obviously a factor involved, but it doesn't feel like it makes any kind of contribution. It has to be down to if the fireball is A, fired out from the wizard monkey itself, because it fires fewer fireballs than it does with magical bolts, and B, if those fireballs are able to hit a non-purple balloon, and then the explosion at hand is able to pop purple balloons, which is a very it's a very 50-50 sort of thing, whether if it works or not. And to be honest, if those yellow balloons that spawn around 25 are not regrows, then I don't think there would be enough regular balloons outside of purples in order for this to be a possibility. So there we go, folks. We have ourselves the Axis of Gandalf in play. So, oh, I should have seen. Yeah, upgrade log. So you can tell that there is another upgrade that you can do. Only the most perfect wizard can channel the ancient powers of the beyond. Yes, there is a wizard more powerful than Gandalf. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let me know what you'd like to see me do next in the future. Yes, I think we'll do that. Challenge this if you dare and see if your hair also falls out when trying to do round 25 of this challenge. There's obviously going to be that one person who's going to put down the science behind when you should do this, when you should spawn back, when you should not do that. But you know what I'm going to say? Thank you for your comment, but I'm too tired to care. I'm sorry. I do care a lot about my comments, but there's sometimes people who just take things just a little bit too far, and I need to be like, nah, I'm just not going to consider that a thing for my own mental health. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, everybody.